Hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm Ed G of Edgy Blades, and these are my knives that I buy myself and give my review of to let you get a closer look at something before you may want to spend your hard earned money on it. What I have here is another Sencut, and Sencut, of course, is a company from the Civivi Wii family, and they make some really great quality knives that you can get usually off of Amazon or even places like White Mountain Knives and so forth. And what I have here is a pretty good sized knife. I'll give you the specifications in the description. Feel free to give it a look. But just wanted to give you a look at this here, and it is the Sencut Phantara. Now, don't mind the attachment I put on there, but I will leave a description, a link for the description of getting those as well. If you want to get yourself that, it's a very easy thing to do. If you check out my glide strike video, you'll see how that's done. It's just a little inset screw that comes with the little wrench that they give you, and very easy to do. But this knife does not even need it. It's just something I like to have, and there you go. We got a very wide and thin blade here of 9CR18 MOV, and that is really nice stainless steel, and it really, I feel, it keeps an edge very well. And this is a very thin blade of 0.12 inches, 3.7-inch knife, and I believe 8 3/4 long for the whole thing here. It is relatively, I would say, close to the size of the Glide Strike, but the Glide Strike does have it in length, whereas this makes up for it in the width of that blade. Being full flat ground and such a thin razor edge, it really is very nice slicer. And that is it's no joke. Let's see. Just eats up material like that, like no problem. Just shears right through. And this does have it does come down to a really mean thin point. So just going through even like a cardboard there, you get to see such a wide blade causing such a wide channel of a cut. Also, it's just super sharp. It's a dream to cut with, really. It's just very well priced and extremely ergonomic. And I like the way that this kind of just goes into a crescent here for your fingers to fall into. And that is working just as nicely in a reverse grip, where you can see that all there. The deep pocket clip there, you have your middle finger just rest comfortably there. There's really no hot spots, no matter how you're cutting with it. It's quite nice. This way around, I've got a really nice tight grip there, and it is a real nice shearer for like push cuts and so forth. I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem for doing a little bit of, I don't know, making feather sticking on knives and so forth if you had to. And yeah, it's a really nice one. And it is ambidextrous like many of the Sencut Civivi knives. So if you got yourself a T8 size torque screwdriver like Weehaw has on Amazon, you can just flip that over if you are a lefty. One of the nice things about these types of attachments is it does act as for right or left side. If you are a lefty and have it in that configuration, you can just also easily use it for doing a reverse flick like so. Now this thumb hole works nice even for slow rolling and so forth, but the flipper tab does have some jimping there, and it's just enough jimping to get you some nice purchase on it every time you need it. So there you go. Now, Neves Knives, I believe, was the one that compared this to, say, a extra large type of Praxis by Civivi. And here is my Praxis, which I've also put another one of these attachments on. But as you can see, it's quite a difference in the width of that blade. And this is, even having this here, you will see it doesn't get in the way of the cutting path. So you can put them wherever you want. Not saying you need to. The knife works just as fine without it. Really, it's just my preference. There is the blade steel, 9CR18 MOV. I'm becoming more and more of a fan of it because a little bit of light stropping and you are good to go. And speaking of stropping, if you don't have, like, say, a fancy strop with the paste and so forth, or an old belt, you can use the top edge of a piece of cardboard just to go in that reverse angle. You know, find the angle of your edge. You can go a couple times there, and you can bring it back to hair popping in no time. Let's see, hair popping. Yeah. Easily. It's super sharp. It's an enjoyable knife. It is, I believe, 5.19 ounces for the weight, but still, with the size knife this is, and the knife to handle ratio of how balanced this feels, it does not resemble any kind of pocket anchor, that is for sure. I usually don't care for knives that are over the 5 ounce, but with this here and the thin profile of being less than a ½ inch wide, it's 0.47 inches, it's quite nice. And yeah, it's a joy to keep around in the pocket. I do wish that there was more access to the liner lock, and it looks a lot like what they did with the Glide Strike there. There's just, you have to get kind of into it to push it out. But what's nice about this knife, as opposed to the Glide Strike, which I'm loving, you do have that flipper tab that can work as a safety when you're closing it and then drop. So you can just let that rest down on your thumb nail there, get your digits out of the way, let her drop, good to go. Now the Glide Strike, one thing I will say is if you are going to have this thing open, I would recommend having your hand in an angle like so. Get it past the liner divot point there, and then get your hand out of the way, because yeah, it's a guillotine. It just drops right down, and I have had that drop on my finger already. But yeah, this is really nice. Fires right out, and it's very, very comfortable, and I am digging it. So if you are interested in seeing something like these attachments, I will leave a link in the description if you want to get that. You can get them in different colors. You can get them in gold, silver, black. I've even seen them in blue. Amazon's pretty good about keeping those in stock for like a next day turnaround. They go for about 10 bucks or less, and you get multiples in the pack. And you can take them on and off. You know, if you want to switch them on to different knives, I've done that. Now, one thing I will probably do with this knife is maybe put some jimping on there. And I do love doing jimping on knives with a Dremel. It does take a little bit of practice. I've done it here with this one here from Off Grid. Kind of gave it like a saw kind of feel. Here's another example of the large CJRB I did some extra deeper jimping on. Don't know if I want to even go there with it being the black blade, but we'll see how it goes. One thing I will notice to point out with this one is I went in, the hole for the thumb hole clearing was wide enough for me to go ahead and just put it underneath and then screw it down, as opposed to putting it on top like I had to with this one here. Now, what's nice about these attachments is they can feel like a thumb rest or a ramp. Sometimes you can, if they're out on the outside, you can kind of use it as a wave for opening off of your pocket, I've found. But I do prefer sometimes just to have it underneath here, so I can just rest my thumb comfortably down there over top of it. But it's that's your choice if you want to do something like that. Feel free either way, it doesn't matter to me. But it is a nice option nonetheless. So there you go. This is the Sencut Phantara, and I'm Edgy of Edgy Blades. Would appreciate if you can like, comment, and subscribe. Try to get back to you as soon as I can. If you do have something you want to say in that or ask, feel free. And that's about it. Hope to see you guys on the next one. Take care.